Hi guys. Today is life number 7, and I've got something really fresh because a few hours ago I watched that was a piece of podcast, um, and that was really interesting because there was a guy and he was sharing his story and he was kind of bragging that he divorced his wife. And I had to check his name, but if I found out that he was someone well known, and he divorced his wife and he had to pay the alimonies or something like this for her, and he paid a lot of money. And he said he was bragging basically that he was so glad that he had no children because that would be a complete disaster. And then he basically said that he doesn't believe in love or anything like this because it's all about, in generalizing, it's all about sex. That we men basically want to, what, no matter what we say, that we want to sleep with every girl that we see, just like the other guy. And I don't know what's the story. I don't know what's the situation, so I cannot say anything about him. But I heard this story so many times that I was listening to him or what he was saying, and I said, "Oh my God, what a loser!" Because he what he accomplished in his life basically is that he failed the woman that he said that he'll be with until the end of his life. He failed that, and then he had no children, so he didn't fail anyone. But most of the people are having children just to kind of build a family and kind of share the let your kids grow up and become a good people. I don't have children, so I'm not going to judge that, but I said that he basically failed the basics. And I was terrified because I start to think about it and looking at myself. I kind of saw what happened so many years ago when my mom, when I was like 6 or 7. We were just in the lift with her and with my brother, and I remember she just said one sentence. She said, "Boys, always remember to let lady go first." She basically, tried to kind of teach us how to respect women. And I remember, as it was today, I remember to decide, okay, let me check it out. What will be the impact if I'll do this? And I remember that I started to do that right away. And I remember that what I found is that every girl that I opened the door for or do anything like this kind of rewarded me with just smiling and saying thank you. And I remember how it made me feel. It was great. And I do it until today because I find it kind of satisfying. And interestingly enough, it's a few a year or two ago, I talked with some of my guys and asked them, "Do you do that as well? What's your approach?" And they say, "Yeah, we do that definitely." And I asked them, "Why do you do this? Why are you trying to be a gentleman?" And one of my friends said something that was stuck with me because that I see that as a crucial thing to understand. He said, "I opened the door not because she can't, but because when she smiles and says thank you, that is something that makes my day, and I'm set up, for this whole day. I'm basically I'm okay. I'm done because just because of this one simple smile, one simple thank you, the gratification of this." Uh, of her being thankful for doing such a small thing is such a huge has such huge impact that he's doing it just because of that. And it was amazing to hear that from him because I do the same thing exactly for the same reason. It's not because they can't, but it's just because when you learn how to be a gentleman, you see that that's the reward that you really want to. And interestingly enough, not only that, you learn two things. You learn how to be observant, because if you want to, let's say, open the door for anyone, you'll have to observe that, that she's coming close to the door. So I want to be first there to open the door for her. And then second, what is kind of subconsciously what's happening is that you learn how to not only observe how to serve, but then you'll kind of learn how this whole game is played, because ladies, much more than we do, they kind of operate on subconscious, operate on double meanings, because you don't say anything, you just do something. And interestingly enough, this is exactly what they want, for you not to, they don't want to have to tell you, they want you to know without them saying you to do something. And that's a great way to start learning this whole this language of communication, when you just decide to be a gentleman. And I want to mention that, because one more thing, what he said is, in this podcast, the gentleman, he said that, we're just like animals, we just want to have, sex. And I remember I had this conversation years ago with one of my friends. He was a manager in a huge company, and we were just talking on being somewhere there on the party. And he said that, he's always trying to find a new girl, and he's having issues because it's not happening very often. And I just listened to him, and I asked him, listen, have you ever tried not go for a party to look for a hookup, but just go there just to talk and spend time by meeting someone new and just make a new friend? You know what he said? I never thought about it this way. Yeah, I was shocked, because I said, this is why you're almost divorced. This is why you're cheating your wife with other girls. And that's why you're terrible, terrible husband. And you're terrible, terrible person to teach your daughter, and you terrible example for your son, because your daughter will see terrible example of how to be a man, and your son will never have, or he will have to kind of discover outside of your zone of being a father, how it all works and how to be happy in a relationship, because you failed on all of that, the whole thing, you failed, or you're failing. So that's why I want you to understand that being a gentleman, it's not only gratifying, but it also teaches you how to be observant, how to talk to ladies in their own language, and how to satisfy them without them having tell you what to do. And let me tell you straight to your face, I'm 18 years in marriage, and I'm in a happy one, and I was always terrified why so many guys are having issues with building relationships. And I'll tell you, if you want to learn how to make friends, if you want to learn how to be a good friend, you'll never make it. Because the baseline of every long-term relationship is friendship. And you'll never make it if you're looking just girl for a hookup. So that's why I want you to understand that you can be an idiot, or you can be a gentleman. It's your choice. So be one of those who's raising the bar, not lowering it. And then you'll find out that there's an amazing experience of finding out what's the friendship, or how it works, and then learning how to build basics for your relationship to make it work, the one that you really always wanted to be in. So something for you to think. See you tomorrow.